Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Hike. And today, my guest is a freedom maxi that loves connecting people in Dubai. Markos, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hey, hi. Okay, thanks for having me on your show. And yeah, I'll just start off just a little bit about myself. My name is Markose Chenthitta. Currently, I am the regional lead for OORT, ORT, which is a decentralized trailblazer in the AI space. So we are bringing the Web3 solutions in the AI value chain when it comes to storage, validation, data, and of course, compute. But aside from that, how I got into the wild world of Web3 and also AI too was I started off podcasting, just a regular Joe trying to get out of the corporate finance space. I used to work for American Express, great brand, but wanted to get into the world of Bitcoin, and I started talking about finance and later talking about Bitcoin and privacy coins and just how crypto and blockchain based solutions are going to revolutionize the way we use the internet, information, and money. And of course, I was born and brought up here in sunny side Dubai. And after high school, I moved to the United States to pursue track and field. So you can say it's sort of like, my American dream. And like any American dream, after 10 years, it kind of fell apart and I crash landed back to Dubai. So yeah, so here I am. Actually, the crazy thing is I didn't want to go back to Dubai, because a lot of the Bitcoin stuff, the crypto stuff was happening like in the States. And that's how I learned about, amazing guys like Roger Ver. He's the world's first investor in Bitcoin. He started Bitcoin.com. He had all these libertarians, talking about gold and end the Federal Reserve and all that stuff. So, for me, I love the idea of freedom. And I guess I consider myself as a freedom maximalist. So I love the message of free the money, free the markets, free the world. And yeah, that's what kind of, got me into this crazy world of crypto. And that's my story.
Sounds like a long way from American Express to OORT. And what I'm wondering about is, did you start the podcast because you wanted more freedom and like started to think in freedom maxi ways, or did it come afterwards when you started exploring Bitcoin more?
I guess it's this ideals of liberty and freedom. I know it's coming from an Indian guy going to America and stuff. That's kind of like a little kind of like outrageous story, but that's where it kind of started really. So I would say kind of like even started before I got into learning about Bitcoin and stuff. But I just want to kind of highlight a little bit of the podcast stuff, like why I started the podcast. I guess personally for me, I wanted to get out of a 9 to 5 job. And that is how I started to, I guess in many ways accelerate my career. And of course, the right people will see your value and be like, hey, you know what? They would introduce you to other people as well. But I guess a lot of it is just comes from heart and trials and error, but lots of errors actually. So yeah, that's hey, but I had fun with it. I had fun with it. So it's it's definitely better than college or better than going to university. So I guess my only regret is I wish I would have done it sooner, but I was, like anyone getting into in their careers, fear of failure, what other people think and all that stuff. Now I'm sort of in the stage where, hey, look, I don't care. I'm just gonna do what I gotta do, have fun with it, definitely have a purpose, find your why. Why do you care about all this stuff? Otherwise, you're just doing random stuff. So yeah, when I did this podcast, work for these different crypto exchanges, work for the YouTube channel Web3 TV and all that stuff, organizing these meetups and all. Like previously, you can grind. You could work hard, play hard, be an independent person or whatever. But you also need mentors. You need like people who have been successful before, who are in a higher place to also vouch for you and also support you as well. Just to give an example, recently we started this decentralized AI alliance called HumanAIx. So the mission is to incentivize human contribution to AI development. So even though we are our own ecosystem, we can't do everything in storage, validation, data, compute. What if we work with other people so that we can share technologies together? We could, come as a united front.
Mhm.
Um, the same thing in my personal career, in our personal careers. Like, yeah, you could be a lone ranger, but I think a lot of people made the mistake of not connecting with other successful people. When I mean successful, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about like in terms of like intellect, philosophy. Sure, money, yeah, but also character as well too. It's just a matter of finding the right people, the right group of people to work together and make things happen. So yeah.
Yeah, especially with the mentors, I believe that you can't really go far if you don't have people like successful people. And it shifted at some point for me because like a couple of years ago, I was too concentrated on the fact that probably success is money, is having a lot of money and stuff. But then I realized that there are many people who consider themselves successful, but it's not the money, it's the state they are in. So it's not wealth we're talking about, it's the state that you feel you're in. And that changed a lot in my personal approach. And so that's what I'm trying to preach to my friends and acquaintances. But returning to our conversation and talking about OORT, from what I understand, your main focus right now is OORT. And I want you to tell me the problem that you're trying to solve right now with that initiative.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to OORT, just for the folks out there, OORT is a decentralized AI startup. So we are trying to bring blockchain technology, Web3 solutions in the AI value chain. We want to bring humans in the loop.
Mm.
And why does that matter? Because not many people realize that AI is built on millions of people's information and data, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting paid for it all. And especially when it comes to data collection and data labeling, because you need raw data. Like, if we're going to create a new AI product, or you're going to like create a new product update, you need fresh data, you need raw data. And the only way AI can get fresh data is from people like you and me to contribute
Mm-hmm.
our data, to do the data collection for them, to label this data. For example, this is a coffee cup. It is what this is white. This is and someone can also label your picture. That's a blue shirt. That's a white shirt. He is either Asian or European. Like so. All that raw data. You can have the best algorithm. Tesla can have the best algorithm, but if all the raw data is not labeled correctly or
Mm-hmm.
collected properly or validated properly, those the AI algorithm is going to hit somebody or cross the red light. So it's not the most sexiest part of AI, but it's the most important part. So and not many people realize that too when it comes to a lot of the AI development, the raw data, the collection, the labeling, the validation, it's all done in the global south. Think of India, think of Kenya, Nigeria, Venezuela, even also the Philippines. And also recently, I would recommend people to check out a 60-minute show. I think her name is Barbara. I forgot her name, but this show has been running on like decades. It's called 60 Minutes. You could search on Google 60 Minutes data labeling Kenya. So where
Mm-hmm.
basically they cover the lives of these Kenyan workers. They are digital workers, and these guys work in warehouses. They just label all the stuff. It's very monotonous, very boring. But they get paid like $2 an hour, and sometimes they don't get paid too because there's a lot of human rights issue. So, for example, Scale AI, it's a $1 billion company, but they're getting sued by the Department of Labor for human rights violation. So
Really?
it's a myriad of stuff. So, a lot of the AI development you're seeing right now it is sort of like a black box experience. There's also a
Mm-hmm.
lot of bias in the data. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to solve that, and we're not doing it alone. We're trying to work with other people as well, other founding members and future partners to join forces where we want to bring humanity in the loop, where instead of like big tech, we all can participate in collecting the data, labeling the data, and get rewarded for it. So a very simple example is, I'm sure you must have used Google Maps. So let's say, hey, you know what? You want to take one of your guests. Hey, I want to take you to this Armenian restaurant. So you go there, but then you get this notification on your phone. Hey, you've been to this restaurant, right? Can you tell us more details? Share some pictures. So you do that. And I know many people in Dubai, they're big foodies. They go to different places. They like to post pictures, write reviews and stuff. So what you're essentially doing for free for Google is that you're doing all the data collection. You're labeling, hey, that's a fried chicken, or that's a Armenian dish, and that's an Aryan drink or something. So you're doing that for free. What Google gives you is an email with the digital confetti, but you're not getting rewarded for providing that data. But they are able to make money on the back end with all that collected and labeled info from millions or maybe billions of people. And most people don't know it. So here we're trying to disrupt that and be like, hey, you know what? If you're contributing to it, you should get rewarded. So this is where essentially what OORT is trying to do. So we want to bring humanity in the loop, and we want regular folks to get rewarded for their work. So
Okay. I'm contributing to Google Maps constantly, so send me a link to sign up for what you're doing.
better, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So
Okay. At one point, I was thinking about this concept that humans become like a tool, like a research tool for AI to categorize and to label
yeah,
different things,
that- yeah, yeah. We're kind of going that way. So yeah,
which sounds a little scary.
yeah, it is. We are entering a new territory. I think this is where like our mission with OORT and the HumanAIx Alliance is that currently right now, like the current AI development is all under the big tech guys. Think of Amazon, Microsoft, you got your OpenAI. So it's a handful of very powerful companies. Now, here we believe that Web3 can make a real impact in the AI space. How as simple as, instead of using Dropbox, you could use storage. You could use OORT storage or whatever. So already like these the companies like us, we're offering really exceptionally low cost storage. So instead of paying like I don't know, say like $200 for one TV or something, we are actually offering for free because we know like because already there's more storage facilities. We're just trying to connect in a decentralized way more effectively and efficiently. So there are options out there. So it's just a matter of time people realize that, hey, there are much more way affordable, way effective options. So, Web3 can make an impact in how you store your data, how you contribute data, and also how you also power these data in terms of training for these AI models and stuff. So there are great Web3 solutions out there, not just us, there are others too. So hey, the only challenge right now for us is that getting the word out there and educating people, because I understand, I'm talking to, other than working at Web3, I also got some friends outside of it. They all have normal lives. They all are, just chilling, going to church or going to mosque, or, just going to the beach and stuff, regular stuff. But they have a hard time understanding about Web3 because, again, crypto, blockchain, Web3, they are like a multi-disciplinary subject matter. It's a whole new level of understanding. But there are folks who do get it, and they do see a lot of value. It's just a matter of timing. And yeah,
So the main challenge that you face right now is educating audiences or masses in a way what Web3 is so they understand the value that OORT can bring them. Is that it?
yeah, sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's a spot on.
Okay. Web3 education, I mean, one of the hardest things in the whole industry, I believe. There was a Future Blockchain Summit in Dubai in October last year. And there was a panel where the community head of SUI was present. And I asked a question about what's the main challenge for Web3 right now. And a brilliant answer that I got was educating people on the value of the Web3, not the tech. And so, like, many of people that do Web3 education, they really focus on the tech, like how it works, why it works like that, why a seed phrase, why, I don't know, transaction fees, gas fees, blah, blah, blah. But they don't really emphasize the value that a person can get by learning about Web3. So, like, I think that's one of the main challenges to educate Web2 or normie people on the value that we have in this space and how they can use it to their advantage. But for me, really, there are not many use cases for normies just yet. And I want you to oppose that opinion.
I guess in the money aspect, and I would also add on like the privacy aspect too. Um, there are great use cases. I mean,
Hmm.
other than Bitcoin, I mean, if you talk about remittances and stuff, stable coins uh, have been doing a great job. I do
Hmm.
remember like last year, like I was on a radio station where the host he did bring out an article where people in Dubai, instead of saving their money in a UAE bank, they're actually saving it in stable coins because they get a much more better rate. So,
Yeah.
people are catching on, and I guess in the privacy space, I think there is been a slow momentum where especially if you're living in authoritarian regimes, there have been a use of privacy coins, but also Bitcoin as well. But I think more people are moving towards like say like Monero or Zano, or maybe also Zcash as well. So there is cases. So I guess we're still long way to go in terms of AI. There there is a lot of interest. I'll give an example with our CEO, Dr. Max Lee. So he's currently in Abu Dhabi right now. So he's going to be in Abu Dhabi till the end of this month. Now, the reason is, why should you care that he's in Abu Dhabi and why is he here? The reason is that he's actually building the AI research department for MBZ UAI,
Hmm.
which stands for Mohammed bin Zayed University for AI. It's the world's first AI university, and
Wow.
he and also Basu, who's one of our partners in the HumanAIx Alliance, they'll be writing a paper on decentralized AI. So there are things happening behind the scenes. I guess I think Web3 needs to crack is the media side. So yeah, we do have media partners like Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, but they're small as compared to your big papers and stuff. So
Hmm.
we still have a long way to go. So there is a fight to break into that space.
So the main challenge you face now, if I understand correctly, that
Mhm.
you want some publicity in a way, both for the space and for what OORT does, and you're interested in putting it out in the market and letting more people know about what is it that you do. Is that right?
Yeah, sure, sure, absolutely. I think right now, getting the word out there. And like, for example, like with OORT, we have our own OORT wallet. And within that, we have this thing called OORT Data Hub. So Data Hub is a data collection platform. So we have like these tasks where we pay people in points and or tokens. So if you keep a certain level of points, or if you complete like a couple of easy tasks and medium tasks, we also got like these advanced tasks where we pay people in USDT. So
Mm.
we are reaching out to like different clients, and they have like data needs that need to be collected and labeled. So we want let the people know, hey, look, there are income opportunities like us, where what, there's some tasks out there. If you do quality work, you get rewarded
Mhm.
in ORT. So that's why we want to get the word out there. Hey, look, there are better options out there. So, and you have the opportunity to share the word too. So you get rewarded for that as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. In that case, who's your ideal professional profile you would like to connect with to solve all those problems?
Oh, I mean, the best part is actually is open to anybody really. So anybody can participate in it. So it's a It's an open economy, so um, you have the freedom to join, participate, contribute, and
Hmm.
get rewarded. So and of course, we all, I guess, definitely we're looking for like a more advanced level folks. If we do have some advanced level tasks like medical and stuff, um, that well, obviously that's more specialized. But yeah, there are we're trying to prove a point, to prove this concept that hey, Web3 can get a globalized workforce than the traditional space. Like the traditional data labeling, it's all done in the global south. So if you want to do, I don't know, create a language learning app in Armenia, you don't want your data labeling to be done in India or Kenya or something. You want like, you know, Armenians or whoever, So you want to have a more distributed workforce, So you can go both, yeah. So can both ways, either like, in a singular point to a more global point. So that's what we're aiming for, and that's where we believe that Web3 can disrupt the traditional status quo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anybody
that's right.
can
So
connect to OORT, explore if they're interested in the projects listed there, and basically
yeah,
start earning on what they would otherwise be doing for free.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is exciting, but I guess for some people, I guess it may be a little bit scary too.
Hmm.
But I would recommend folks, hey, just give it a shot.
Hmm.
Like you could do it part time as well. So um,
Yeah. So the concept of freedom is preserved in OORT as well.
I mean, we don't talk about freedom, but I guess in terms of the team and the leadership, they're definitely, like big believers in Bitcoin and Web3 and the concept of, decentralization. That's a goal where uh, we want to strive for.
Thank you for letting us in on your vision of freedom in the scope of collaboration between blockchain and AI, and taking your journey into the fact like it's been years of your professional activity from American Express to podcast to Bitcoin to OORT. I believe there were many more. But what I want to know now is, was the single piece of insight the most important one that you had throughout all those years?
Special insight. Well, great question. Um, when I started my podcast, I kind of delayed, the timing and stuff. I guess I wish I would have started much more sooner. I actually have two things. One is taking action, or I guess execution, and then trying to stay consistent. Because if I was consistent, I think I felt like I would have had way more opportunities, and more people have been reaching out. So
Hmm.
it's not like you're not going to get any partners or any new opportunities. It just comes much more slower. So
Yeah.
take action and be consistent, and yeah, don't make the same mistakes of what I did before. So please don't.
A great piece of advice and comes from experience, I believe. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for joining me today as well.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. Glad to be here, and yeah, I'm appreciative of the opportunity to to share my origin story in this wild west of crypto, blockchain, and Web3, and also and AI as well too. So yeah, I appreciate that. It's actually quite rejuvenating. It also kind of like gave me some. You also gave me the opportunity to be perspective, to have this perspective. So it helps. It's not every day I get a chance to be reflective and like um, think this through. So this is in many ways quite therapeutic, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for listening to us today. Thanks, Marcos, for joining us once again. If you want to connect with Marcos personally, we'll drop some links in the description of the video. Drop your comments about what you think about the episodes, your feedback, and maybe some questions for Marcos as well. And I'll see you in the next episode.